Welcome, everyone. Lovely to see you. Hello, John. Frank. Hello, Frank. Rashmi. Hello, Amna. Richard. Holger. Isaac. Peter. Hello, Esther. George. Lovely to be with you. So I'm muting everybody for now, and then you can unmute yourself. So if you can consider that which you are is the reality of being. Not what you imagine yourself to be, but the reality of consciousness, of presence. So for the duration of this meeting, simply be and engage with your experience as being, as presence. Nothing ever happens to presence. Nothing ever happens to reality, the reality of consciousness. There may be world events. There may be certain situations within the body. There may be certain thoughts and mind impressions that may appear to you. That which you are is untouched. So turn your attention to that aspect of your experience which is untouched. I awareness, I presence. This presence is not created by thought, by memory, by some great realization. It's there causelessly, uncaused, not the result of anything. as this awareness, as this presence. There is no worry or concern or effort to improve. There is no misery, no unhappiness. As presence. Your experience is that of presence, of beingness, aware presence. And this awareness, which is the reality of I awareness, cannot be hurt or wronged. When you are not identifying yourself as a person, as this particular man, woman, whatever, with all the images and beliefs and opinions and values that you place upon this image. This identification limits you and leads to the impression that you are a limited mortal self to whom the universe is benevolent or malevolent. A personal self that is living in the realm of right and wrong, none of which is true. You experience yourself as being wronged because you hold on to some notions about yourself and about the others and about the world. Imaginary notions about right and wrong that have no place within awareness. Notice that you experience this moment, and every moment, moment by moment, is the experience of awareness. Awareness taken on the form of this hearing, perceiving, or breathing, without becoming anything. Freedom from cause and effect. Freedom from the impression of causality and subjectivity. There is no effect when there is one reality. There's no object and subject, no impact. The peace of being is our reality, the only reality, the one reality. That is not dependent on a relationship or on family success, the health of the body. Peace of being is sufficient unto itself. Stands on its own. So you invite yourself to this recognition, the recognition of the peace that is causeless, the transparency of being, that is not defined in your head by your thinking. You live in relation with the world and with others. And you overlook your relationship with yourself. That you are the self, one self. Which knows it is. I know I am. And which is aware that it is aware, effortlessly, without having to resort to any activity. Without having to resort to any object. In being, there are no divisions. It is a universal silence, universal stillness. Which is the silent stillness of self-knowledge. Where the mind is completely still. As it is not needed for self-knowledge. It is not needed for you to be that which you already are. The mind is when it comes to self-knowing, it's like the rope with which you tie the donkey around the neck or to pull it, to lead it to the stable. Except that you're already in the stable and you don't know it. You imagine yourself lost in the village as a pauper, as a poor person. While you are the son or daughter of the queen and king. You cannot be anything else but the reality of aware presence, which we refer to as aware presence, the reality of being. Notice that you are without borders. The body may have borders. The mind may be limited. But notice that there are no limits to I, no borders. You are the totality of being. The wholeness, the peace of being. Okay, so if you have any questions, anything that you would like to share, please make sure to unmute yourself. And welcome to turn on your video as well. This way we can see each other if you care. Any questions? Hello, Anna. You write, would you talk about love from the personal I, its attention and approval? I guess you mean seeking attention and approval. So, yeah. So there is, personal love and impersonal love. Personal love is love that has behind it a person that is wanting something, desiring something, lusting for something, lacking something, wishing for something from the other or from the relationship, or looking for something out there, meaning in the relationship, in some experience. So that's not how we speak about love, in truth, in Advaita, in reality. Love is universal. There is impersonal love, meaning our love is God loving through us. It is not my love. I don't love you. It is God that loves you through this body-mind. But keep in mind that God's love does not discriminate, meaning that God's love through this body-mind is universal. It loves everybody and everything equally. So one could say that love is not my love, it is God's love. And it's ever present and shining, full blast, across the board, onto everyone and everything. And of course, God does not see anybody or anything separate from the reality, from her own reality, God's own reality. Because in God's understanding, there are no separate realities. So, love from God's point of view is undivided and is uninterrupted, meaning it has no beginning and no end. There isn't more or less love. There are no degrees of love. I love you more because I like the way you smile at me. I like the way you approve of me. There are no such degrees of love, God's love, which is the only love there is. But from the perspective of the human identity, when you are identified as a man, woman, as somebody, you already have reduced your reality, your truth, to a body-mind, a mortal body-mind. You're no longer this God's presence. You are this person made out of flesh and bones, You're an object relating in the realm of objectivity. You are in the realm of more and less. As a separate self, you are in the realm of pleasure and pain, of satisfaction and dissatisfaction, gaining and losing, right and wrong, good and bad, which are all the illusion of separation. Which goes hand in hand with a sense of lack. So I need somebody to fulfill me. I need somebody to complete me. And from that perspective, the relationship is always a relationship of measurement, evaluation, judgment, agreement and disagreement. You get it? So you're right. So the way that we generally understand love is irrelevant. It depends from where you start. If you start from the premise that I am a woman, I am a person, I am born and I'm going to die. If you start from the premise that you are the body, although you are not the body, you're starting from a false premise. So if you start from a false premise, how can you experience that which is not false downstream? So the belief that you are a person existing in time and space, it affects all your experience. It affects your perception, your thinking, your action, your interpretation of the experiences. That it affects your perception. So although you may experience moments of pure joy because of the belief that I am this body-mind or the result of this body-mind, because of that belief, these moments of joy are short-lived. They become personal experiences that we judge in one way or the other, or that we seek or try to avoid. Yes. You have to go to your initial assumption. Your initial assumption, if your initial assumption is that I am a separate self, I am a woman, I am this person, then your experience is the experience of being within the bubble, within the sense of the personal story. You are experiencing the personal tale, the personal story. And when that belief and feeling that you are a mortal body mind, you are an object, you are a form, is operating, all your relationships are if affected and impacted by that false belief. When you meet others as a separate self, you are judging, you're evaluating what's in it for me. Is it going to work out for me? Is this person going to make me feel better? It has nothing to do with happiness. Happiness is our heart's deepest desire, and it's God's grace and gift unto all of us. You follow? So in relationship, be watchful. Whether you are operating out of a need or a sense of lack or a desire or a lust. If you operate from that premise, you maintain it. Amna, you're right. So just the belief that we're this body mind makes us selfish. No, the belief that I am this body mind makes me. So the belief that I am this body mind is what this sense of separation is what the separate self is. It is this belief and the feeling that I am a mortal body mind. That's what the me is. That's what the illusion of separation is. That's what the bubble, the personal bubble is. And it's not in line with our experience, because if you look at your experience this moment, Amna, your experience is that of presence, awareness. It's effortless presence, effortless awareness, right? The I am Amna is an add-on, is a step downstream. You perceive the body mind, you perceive memories and images, and then you say, I am that bundle of images and sensations which you refer to as Amna. I am Amna. But that which says I am Amna is not Amna. That which, the I that says I am Amna is not Amna, it's the I. I as awareness, I presence, God's I. Some people say, well, yes, I am I, presence, and I am also Amna. Yes, I am I, and I'm also the oak tree. I am also the carpet, I'm also the car. That is a correct statement. Yes, I am. I am consciousness, awareness, presence, and I'm also the body, the mind, all bodies and all minds. I am the body. I am all bodies. And I am the mind. I am all minds. And I am the universe. I am all universes. Then that would be more like it. I am nothing, and yet I am everything. But that's not how we understand it. Usually, some people with partial understanding say, yes, I am awareness, but I am also this particular body, this particular mind. So the understanding is incomplete. The sense of separation is still on board. Anyways, that's a side comment. That was not your question. Okay. Any questions?
Hi, Magdi. This is Sunita. How are you?
Hello, Sunita. Yes.
It's more than a question. I think it's like the process that I wanted to talk to you about. So initially, it's like the usual mindfulness practice. It's like a concentration kind of a practice wherein like there's something still holding on to the body, and that becomes the center of perception. Like either I use my mind or my heart or my body, and then I perceive through that. And then slowly, this was how usually probably all I remember how I was perceiving before. And then that center of perception, like the loop, that was continuously feeding, right? Like I'm here, and then I'm perceiving, and then there's a loop back to it.
Mm-hmm.
It just creates that identity. Yes. That begins to free up, or the body cannot hold on to that, which means now the loop is lost, and then and then it becomes a state of unknowing. I mean, I am aware. It's like a global awareness that is there, but doing was pretty difficult in the sense like at work, like I have to think something or I have to do something, and it was very difficult because anytime a doing would happen, it would go back to the contraction. Like I had to have that loop. Mm-hmm. And then the process, I just wanted to see if this makes sense, and I'll try to describe the way it's happening. Mm-hmm. And now, without the loop, without that center, it just feels like let's say I have to look at something, and then I don't even know how to say. It kind of goes through the mind, so it does have the capabilities of the mind. Like let's say when I'm talking right now, yes. Without the holding, without the loop, but it just goes through the mind. Or let's say if I have to think something, mm-hmm. It still kind of uses the mind. It's as if the emptiness and as if the mind and as if the perception, it's all happening together without the loop.
Yes.
Is that how it kind of? Did I explain it, or yeah. I don't know how? Okay.
Yes, I understand what you are saying, Sunita. Yes, the mind is part of the setting of the system. In other words, there is the world, body, mind, and the mind functions in relationship to the world and to the body, and they have a sort of dance that they do together. It has nothing to do with ignorance. It has nothing to do with the loop. It has nothing to do with a personal center. So yes, the mind functions. Actually, it functions even, I would say, with more ease, let's say. It's, you know, well, good lubrication. It operates freely because it is not trying to maintain a certain experience, a personal experience. It's not trying to protect a personal self. It functions, it takes care of the body, takes care of the world. You know, in the world, there is a water leak in the line, so it goes and takes care of it. There is something with the body, or the body's the knee is hurting, so it takes care of that. So yes, the key thing in what you're just sharing, the process that you described to me, is in the right direction. Yes, and in the end, meaning when the loop is no longer engaging or is not engaging, the mind is functioning, whichever way it's functioning, the body is functioning, whichever way it's functioning, and the world is functioning, whichever way it's functioning. There is no ignorance in the functioning of the world, body, mind, because the loop, what you refer to as the loop, meaning the personal identity, the personal center that's imagined to be, I don't know, in the head or in the brain or behind the eyes or whatever, that's not what the experience is. Experience is that of an open field of awareness, and it's 9 o'clock, time to go to work. There's a phone call. Hello, yes, I need to submit this report. Okay. It's functioning, effortless, and sort of flawless functioning of the world, body, mind. But there is activity of the body, there is activity of the mind, there is activity in the world.
Okay. And eventually eventually that loop, I mean, of course it's not all the time I have lost the loop. It comes, it goes. Suddenly there's a contraction, and then it's more painful. The contraction nowadays is more painful, even a slight contraction, and then I have to let go. And then there's a lot of disorientation that is happening. In the sense, it's very difficult sometimes. Suddenly, when I'm talking to people, it suddenly that loop suddenly goes away, and it's like I don't even remember what was happening. I mean, it's not in a very negative way, but then suddenly that thought just flows away. And then it just, oh my, what was I even thinking? Or like the thought suddenly goes away. And there's a it's the doing part of it is still not, it's actually very difficult, Magdi. It's pretty, and I don't know. And then there's a lot of body, what is it, like the energetic movements are happening in the body on its own, like some of the yoga mudras are happening on its own, like the what is it called, the especially the root chakra, the Muladhara chakra. Suddenly it's the bandhas, or the locks are happening, because without the locks, I'm not even able, like, there is disorientation, because the consciousness is so free to move wherever it moves. I don't know how to even concentrate, like without the I don't know how I'm talking, what I'm talking.
Okay. Now, whenever the loop re-engages, meaning the me sense re-engages, these are moments where consciousness personalizes itself as Sunita.
Okay.
And there is a difference between consciousness sort of fueling or powering sunita in the body-mind functioning, perceiving, thinking, sensing, and consciousness being sunita, identifying as sunita. Whenever consciousness identifies as sunita, then the loop engages, meaning now there is a specific center, a specific focality, a specific focal point, which is operating. And so there is the subject and the object, and that focal point is the blockage. It blocks the flow of energy. That's the, when you put a bottle, that's the blockage. So it is sufficient for you to understand the process and see the process. The understanding of the process is that there are moments where you return to being Sunita, Sunita the person, Sunita the woman, Sunita the daughter, Sunita the teacher, whatever way Sunita is identity. Okay. So, and that identity, you need to be aware that this identity is what's operating at that moment, and that in fact you are not this identity. That this identity is just a certain twist, a certain current, a certain flow of wind in the desert, and now the sand is sort of, we're being whipped up as some sort of form, some sort of energetics. That you are not that. And to understand that, okay, this is a moment of identification. This identification, if it's clicking on and off, sometimes it's clicking on and off quite frequently around a certain subject, whatever it is. It could be your neighbor, that's upsetting, whatever. I mean, there could be a certain particular topic or topics that trigger this loop, and the experience of the energetic flow, which is completely fluid as consciousness. Consciousness, it's just, there are no stoppage, no points, no narrow points. And so when you're experiencing the sense of separation on and off within the body, depending on your sensitivity, you will experience, there will be an energetic mirroring of this process within the body. So the body mind are one. What I would suggest that you don't make a big deal out of either the identification at the mental level, nor the energetic impact that it has on the body level. They are both phenomenal. They're both irrelevant to consciousness. What you have available to you is the possibility to recognize at any moment that which you are is not that which is appearing. It's appearing to you, whichever way it's appearing to you, as a feeling, as a sensation, as an experience, as a perception, that which you are is not that which you perceive. So you have available to you the reality of being, the reality of consciousness, the reality of awareness. And of course, it's helpful to see that in the moments of contraction, there are moments where there is identification, some form of identification.
Magdi, you mentioned about the energy powering versus the energy going into a loop, or the body going into a loop. When, for me, when the locks, when the bandhas happen, like especially it happens when my conscious, when I need to concentrate or focus on something, even if I'm trying to focus globally, the energetic movements happen in such a way that it's the loop is not there,
Mm-hmm.
but it just feels like it's powered up. It's a way different sensation. It's not that I'm holding, like let's say I completely let go, like an out breath. When the out breath happens, completely goes, there's still, and then when you see things around,
Mm-hmm.
it feels like there's consciousness, there's body, and then there's still perception. Like it's all three are happening without the loop.
Okay.
I don't even know how to
Yes.
explain that.
You
Yeah.
know, just a comment here that consciousness is not happening. So whatever is happening at the body-mind level
Okay.
is happening, one could say, within the spaciousness of consciousness. Like in your night dream, whatever is happening in your night dream, the entire content of your night dream is happening within you, the dreamer, within the dreamer's mind, as a metaphor. So at the body level, there is a happening. So maybe you can turn your attention to the body, to the sensations within the body, at these moments where you have to sort of focus your attention. If you could take a minute to sort of not just focus on what your attention is calling you, or the situation is calling you to focus on, but also turn your attention inwardly, scan the sensations within your body. You don't need to scan, it's not like a do or die, I have to scan everything, I have to, no, just turn your attention towards the body, towards your body. Whatever sensations, doesn't matter what they are, that you notice within your body, notice that these sensations are arising in the spaciousness, that your body is a spacious field of awareness, not a concrete body, not a sensory body, but the body of light, the body of awareness, that the sensation is arising within the body of awareness, and free that sensation to flow into the entire space, whichever way it does or wants to. In other words, this sensation is arising in the spaciousness of the freedom of awareness, of consciousness. So it is not, there is no, the contraction is in your interpretation. And in your interpretation, in your perception that there is a contraction, the body resonates and proves to you that yes, it approves, it is your partner. The body would be your partner in your point of view. It's very subtle. So you have to correct your point of view. In your point of view, in your perception, whatever is arising to you, like right now, hearing these words, this hearing is arising in the spaciousness of awareness. There are no borders. Similarly, turn your attention to your body, scan whatever you perceive within your body, and notice or invite yourself to comprehend at the sensory level that whatever sensation is arising to you is arising in the complete freedom, the vastness of being, which is the vastness of your true body, which is the vastness of consciousness, borderlessness of consciousness. So approach the sensations within your body. Take a minute if you could, whenever this arises for you, to approach the sensations in your body from a new perspective, the perspective of infinite space, that infinite space that is available to that sensation, throughout the sensation and around the sensation.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay.
And as you engage in activity, you have to focus your attention. It is possible, you have to explore that, to also be scanning, be relaxing, be releasing, be opening your what we refer to as your body to the infinite body, to the vastness. So you may for a while need to sort of go back and forth from being focused on activity to taking a minute to open and release, allow the light to shine throughout your body, and then go back to your activity and back and forth. Eventually you will find that it is possible, as you are, for example, hearing these words, to also be noticing the sensation within your belly, the sensations within your neck or your back, wherever you're experiencing a sensation. We don't need to call it a contraction. It's a sensation, and to notice that the sensation has its complete freedom. It's surrounded by light. It's surrounded by space.
Okay. Thank you, Magdi. That helps. Yeah. The energetic movements it just feels like things are just raising up to my head most of the time when that happens. It's sometimes it's kind of blissful. Sometimes it's depending on the blockages, it's not easy. I mean, a lot of things come up, but then it just shoots up to my head.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have to allow it. Don't add anything to it. Allow it to be. It's neutral. Don't give it any value or significance in terms of bliss or not bliss.
Okay.
Do not the bliss that they're crumbs. The bliss is a crumb of bread. You know, the crumbs. Don't pick up a crumb. Don't pick up a crumb. Don't worry about. Don't evaluate it, and definitely don't attach yourself, because any attachment is similar to the blockage. The attachment and resistance are the same. Are the two sides of the same coin. So allow it to be whatever energetics appears to you. It is just a whisper arising in the vastness. I have no interest whatsoever for anything to be different. And as a result, I am not evaluating or judging. It's all equal in the face of God. It's all equal. See? So everything that is arising is impersonal. personal aspect comes from the belief that I am this particular body-mind, which is a false notion.
Okay. Thank you, Magdi. Thank you so much. I think that helps.
Okay, Sunita. Any questions?
Hi, Magdi.
Hello, Maria. ¿Cómo está, Maria? Hello.
Hi. I'm having a hard time getting my video on. I don't know how to do it on the phone. So,
Nice.
here it is. Oh, yes, here it is. Hi.
Okay, yes, hello.
Hi.
Yes.
Yeah, I was following the conversation with Sunita, and it's so beautiful and so helpful. I have a question about when the body is in some kind of injury, like if you have an actual pain in the shoulders or you have an injury, do we approach the sensations to the injury in the same manner? Or, what?
Yes, about a particular situation in the body, of course, there are injuries that it's very clear that we need to get medical assistance, and if there is a cut or a wound or whatever, yes. So there is a healing aspect to the self-healing aspect to the body-mind, which is inhibited by the belief that I am a separate self, that this body is a physical body, and that I am this physical body. That is a sort of a corruption of the system. It's a corruption of the organism. It is a toxicity because it is false. It's a falsehood within the body. So this falsehood not only exists in our belief system, but it exists at the cellular level, at the kinesthetic aspect of our being. So you can invite, well, again, this work goes hand in hand, working with the body at the healing aspect goes hand in hand with the belief that I am the body. So in working on I am the body, which is a falsehood, you are also liberating the body to, you're allowing the body to function without the falsehood, without the contamination. And in some way, the body takes time to heal itself. Like when a tree, when there is a scratch in the trunk of the tree, after a while, I don't know, it may take a week or 2 weeks, whatever, the tree secretes whatever it needs to do to heal its wound. And there is that healing capacity within the realm of manifestation. Now, of course, I mean, if you look at the human understanding is polluted. It's very centered in the belief that I'm in me, I'm this body, I'm not, who are you? You're okay if there is something you bring into me. And so the sense of separation is throughout the entire planet, and so the planet itself, not just the planet itself, is having a hard time to heal itself, which is built in. The healing aspect of in the planet is there, but there comes a point where it takes much longer for the planet to heal itself. So it's true of the body too. Now, when we are contemplating our true nature, a lot of things change in our life about how we live, how we eat, how we relate, how we honor the body, how we deal with others. All of that changes, and this sort of these changes, they nourish the body. They make the body more capable of healing. Having said all of that, the body has really only one destiny, which is that it's a temporary manifestation. So we all, as body minds, are passerby, and they're temporary. So keep that in mind, of course, and just be watchful that any identification goes against healing. And at the core of the ignorance within healing is the belief that something is happening to me. The belief that something is happening to me is the core falsehood that goes against healing.
Because in a certain way, we explore the body as not being solid, as being really vibrations and sensations, and it has no limit, and it's like in this spaciousness.
Yes, absolutely.
So when we talk about healing, what is it that's being healed,
Yes, it's a good question. So there's only really one healing, which is the healing of ignorance, because the falsehood is ignorance. It's not, the problem is not anywhere else. So healing is healing from the belief that consciousness depends on the body-mind, that consciousness is a personal aspect of the body-mind. Yes, that's only healing, really.
Okay. So if someone has a strong lower back pain, for example, and they say, I'm suffering, I have this lower back pain, it's really uncomfortable. I can't stand up, I can't sit down, I'm just uncomfortable all the time.
There's only one.
I mean, aside from
there's only one healing, Maria. There's only one issue. Everything else is distraction. It's hiding away from. Because if you start from a false assumption, then everything downstream is false. If you start from the assumption that I am the body, then is a falsehood across the board. There's a falsehood in the universe, there's a falsehood in the body, there's a falsehood in the air, there's a falsehood. It's not contained. There are no closed systems. All systems are open systems.
Mm-hmm.
So if there is anything that needs to be redressed, in the absolute sense, not in the relative sense. In the relative sense, yeah, if there is water that spills on the ground, you take a mop and you mop it. So one could say that yes, if you put your hand on a hot plate and you have a burn, you put your hand in the ice water to diminish the inflammation. So there is, of course, that aspect, the relative aspect of if there is bleeding, then you apply a compress or to reduce the bleeding and stop the bleeding. So, but in terms of something is happening to the body that's happening to me, then the body gets it. The body says, "Oh, okay, so I am this object. I am this. What is it? Whatever you're telling me that I am, it's the body's going to register that at the cellular level, at all levels within the body mind. It's going to register that. It's going to register the falsehood, and any falsehood has an impact. It contaminates. If you take the pure water and you put in it, if you believe that I don't know that some acid is good, whatever falsehood you introduce is going to contaminate the. So the main healing is the healing from ignorance, and that pertains to the world body mind. It affects the world body mind. It's like you're filtering out the gook out of the. So yes,
Wow.
Yes.
Right. So if there's a intense sensation in the lower back and we label it pain, if we start making it personal, like, oh, my poor lower back and this is happening to me, that's like identification with the body in a big way.
Yeah, but the me is already on board, I mean, the I am, the body is already on board. It's already operating. It's already operating. It's already there. And of course, when you say, "Oh my God, what's happening to me?" That's also an expression of something that's already there. So, like, I've been living as taking care of the body, not out of my understanding that the body is available to me for caring for it, but I've been taking care of the body out of concern about me, what's going to happen. I need to do this for me, you say.
Mm-hmm.
There is the I am the body implication. It's hidden in there. It's built into your activities, your thinking, your perceptions about yourself, your perceptions about the world. And so there are, of course, short-term and long-term effects due to ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
So the body is, in a way, it serves the function. It serves many functions, but the main function is the service for truth, whichever way it can serve and act in expression of truth and in the service of truth. And it's for us to find the way to be available, to have the body available for the service of truth. And the body is an energetic body. It's a body of being. It's a body of it's the body of vastness, the body of awareness, the body of presence. It's a infinite, borderless body. And so it has a far reach. It has a reach way beyond what we imagine.
Thank you, Magdi.
And also what's nice about the body is that the body, it reminds you more and more about your true nature. Over time, the body becomes less and less the boss or the Lord. Over time, with the aging of the body, it starts to reveal to you that it is not that which is absolute. And also the body is also reminding you that your mission is not the body. It's telling you your mission is not the body, because it's not moving north, it's moving south. So it's moving.
It's always here.
Realize the freedom from the body, the freedom from imitation.
Yay! Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Night dreams. I fly every night.
It's nice to fly.
Yeah. Which is the real body, right?
Mhm. Right, right.
Thank you so much, Magdi.
Okay, Maria.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Thank you. Nice to see you. I hope you can come here soon
Yes, well, yes, hopefully.
and take this walk with me right
Yes.
here
Oh,
up the
wonderful.
hill.
I would love to, would love to. Yes. Okay, okay. All right. Mucho gusto. Pura vida.
Thank you. Pura vida, yes. After taking a couple of scorpions
Oh,
out of my bed,
oh,
everything's pura vida.
okay. Be watchful.
Magdi, I had one more question if
Yeah.
nobody else is.
Yes.
I was just curious. What drives going forward? What will drive us? What's our motivation? I mean, a lot of the things that I had before, whether it's coming out of a negative emotion or even a positive emotion, it all of those drives, which was fueled by my desires, slowly are ebbing away. And I'm just curious. And right now, if what is my like, what do I want? It's the kind of fulfillment that happens when I'm just seeing around things. It's just the simple truth of seeing things as is. It's so like I just get absorbed there. It's very fulfilling, and just curious, what will drive, what will motivate us, like what will push us going forward, like from a creation standpoint or doing standpoint.
Yes. You know, in your question, Sunita, I just want to clarify what drives us forward, or let's say what drives me forward. What, in your question to yourself, when you say us or me, what are you referring to? So if we are referring to what drives us as the human tribe, what drives us forward, many ways of looking at that. Obviously, if being driven forward is real, then what would drive us forward must also be real.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing that is real is reality. So that which drives us forward is reality. By reality, what do we mean? In our experience, we can look at what is it that is real, what is reality in our experience. And when we look at that question, we realize that that which is real is the infinite invisible, what we refer to as awareness, presence, consciousness, the reality of being, that which does not come and go. So if being driven forward is real, then that which drives forward must be the consciousness, reality of consciousness. Now, we know that there is one reality, reality of consciousness. If there is one reality, and there is therefore nothing else, there isn't a reality and us, or reality and the world. If there's one reality, then everything is that one reality. So if everything is that one reality, then what is the us? What is this reality drive? What is it that this reality is driving forward? There wouldn't be anything that reality would be driving forward, because there are no things within reality. It's all this one reality. So therefore, in the question, what is it that is driving us forward? There is a flaw. The flaw is that there is something other than reality that reality is going to drive forward. You follow that reasoning?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I completely get what you're saying. Yeah, the question itself is flawed because it's coming from a separate
so that
identity.
So I just wanted to make that point. Now, having said that, in the dream of the human experience, we all know happiness. We all somehow do what we do on behalf of happiness. We go to work to have an easy life and to have the comforts that we need and to provide to the society. Why? Because it's happy. It's about happiness. It makes do things for our family, our children, our neighbors, whatever, because it makes us happy to do so. It's happy. So we know that everything we do, everything that we seek, everything that we desire is happiness. Is happiness. So in your question, what is it that drives us, is that we know happiness deep down. We know happiness. We don't need to ask our mother, our father, our priest, our rabbi, can please explain to me happiness? No, we don't. We know it. But due to the belief that I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm this person, mother, father, or whatever, due to that spinning, that belief is being lived, is affecting our perception, our thinking, our activity. Due to that veil, let's say, although we know happiness deep down, we don't have a full experience of it. So we're dissatisfied. We can't just continue on and on and on and on with the same old structures, with the same old models, with the same old way, reliving the same residuals in the same way. We something within us is driving us towards happiness. That which is driving us towards happiness is happiness itself. We know happiness. It is happiness within us that's driving us. That's another way of talking to this question, to your question. Once we have an insight into happiness, meaning that we comprehend that happiness is our true nature, that it's not just something that we can experience down the line, tomorrow, next year, or hopefully in 5 years, once we comprehend that there is no reality to tomorrow, that that reality of happiness must be now, here and now. Once we get that glimpse into that, and we get it in many ways, it's as if those bottles, you take off the cover of the bottle and the genie comes out of the bottle. What is it called? That those tales when we were children.
Yeah.
It's like it's too late to put the thing back in the bottle, the genie back in the bottle. But it's a beautiful genie. It's a very lovely genie. It's a genie of happiness, true happiness, a genie of our true nature.
Thank you, Magdi.
Okay, Sunita. Okay, well, thank you all. Very lovely to be with you, Frank. Hello, Frank, and John. Hey, John, Holger, Amna, Maria,
Thank you.
Sunita. Hola, Gloriana.
Hola, Magdi.
Hello, Kelly. See, Gloria. Peter. Hello, Peter. Esther. Hello, Esther. George. Hey, George. And Zoe. Beautiful. Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Magdi.
Thank
Thank you all.
you.
Love you all.
Bye.